So we can. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you are
Yes, sir.
audible.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
अरे अच्छा, ये लगा हुआ नहीं है, ये ईयरफोन लगा नहीं है, मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि कनेक्ट क्यों नहीं हो रहा। Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hope everyone is good. Yes or no?
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fit and fine, sir.
Great. So the reason of starting this class today 8:30 is, for today class we have less content to cover because the free batch is going to get over today, right? So the actual SIM content, we are going to start from Monday. That's the reason we started a little late, 8:30, even though we are going to finish before even 10. Then we'll start and continue with the regular course, only with regular people from Monday onwards. So last class we started with the SIM, right? SIM is the main tool of any SOC, right? You cannot imagine the SOC as of now without having SIM tool in the team, right? You cannot say that any SOC team is a SOC without having SIM, right? Because real-time monitoring, correlation alerting to keep an eye 24/7 on the network, we are doing using the SIM tool, right? So what is the objective of SIM tool? You have very well understood. Yes or no? It's very, very difficult. You understand the zero-day attack, right? When none of your devices are having signature to detect it, right? There will be some scenarios. You understand, attackers are very well educated, very intelligent. They always find out new ways to penetrate the network. And sometimes your security devices may not have signature to detect particular activities, suspicious activities, attacker activities. In that case, there are chances of successful compromise, right? That means none of your security devices are having signature to detect it, right? That we call a zero-day attack. So we understand the challenges during the zero-day attack, and we understand that each and every devices will record the activity in the form of logs, right? So at the time of attack, if any activity is happening, we have to check the logs. We cannot see manually, right? We have to check the logs only, what activity happened or what activities are happening right now. We have to check on the logs, and we understand the different devices record the activity on different format. They're having their own format. There is no standard how they will record the logs. And again, these devices, so we have to log in on each and every devices, right? And the logs is on different format that logs we call raw logs, because there is no standard format. Some logs you may not understand, some devices logs you may understand, some devices logs you may not understand, right? So at the time of attack, logging on each and every devices, understanding, analyzing the logs is a time-taking process, because these devices generate huge number of logs millions, billions of logs per day, right? Logging on each and every device, analyzing the logs which are unformatted, raw logs, it's very, very difficult. Maybe it takes many hours, many days for you. That means you're doing historical analysis. You're not able to take the active action on the attack or any kind of unusual or abnormal activities. In that case, it's a big challenge for us. And then new technology has been launched that we call a SIEM, SIEM, Security, Information and Event Management. SIEM is not a, active device in the network. That means SIEM do not intercept the packet. Your firewall, your router, your switch intercept the packet, right? I mean, packet communication comes through those devices, right? Firewall comes in the picture, firewall allowed SLI, right? Your proxy, your email gateway are the active devices in the network. That means they intercept the packet while communication happens, right? While SIEM is the kind of passive device, SIEM only collect the logs. It cannot allow or block anything. Get it? It collects the logs from various devices and it will create certain kind of intelligence. In case of in terms of correlation, it's an intelligence, right? That we define the condition aggregation, and with it intelligence, it triggers an alert. Yes or no? So it's not actively participating in the network. That means it's not intercepting the packet. If anybody asks, can you block anything on the SIEM? If you see any suspicious activity, the answer is no, because communication is not happening through SIEM. SIEM is standing somewhere else. It's just collecting the logs. Creating correlation means some intelligence and then giving you the result. Get it? So, to overcome those challenges, we have SIEM. SIEM collect the real-time logs from network device, security device, servers, application databases, etc. That means any digital device which has certain security concern, right? Your SIEM from any IT infrastructure, typical standard IT infrastructure devices that you are having in the company, they generate the logs. Your SIEM can collect it. The name itself suggests security information and event management. Means security means which has certain security concern, right? It collects the logs, it normalizes the logs. That means it will make the different format logs to same format, common format. That format called normalized format. So this process is called normalization, right? So once it collects it normalizes the logs and it keeps the logs for a long time, right? These different devices are not keeping the logs for a long time. They have different retention period. Retention period means how long you want to keep the logs, how long you are keeping the logs, storing the logs. The English word is a retention period, right? So how long you want to retain the logs on your SIEM on your device, right? Different devices you can set on the SIEM, but different devices, they are having their own retention period, may not be retaining for a long time. But here we can retain for a long time. And good feature is we can do the searching and reporting. That means we don't have to log in on each and every devices now. We can just log in the SIEM, give the query. What log you want to search? Router. Okay, give the query for router. Switch. Give the query for switch. Firewall. Give the query, select the time, download, see the logs in the console, download the log, investigate, analyze. And the good thing is format is also readable because logs are being stored, normalized logs. We can easily understand, right? But other challenge we had is because again, even though you have SIEM, for example, collecting the log, keeping log for a long time, but the challenge is for real-time monitoring. You have billions of logs per day. Even you're searching on the same tool, it's very difficult to keep an eye for billions of logs. Then SIEM has another feature, real-time monitoring, correlation alerting. Yes or no? That means instead of we monitor each and every event, which are billions in numbers, we can ask our SIEM to monitor on behalf of us. On that case, SIEM asks us on what basis I can decide which activity or what set of activities are suspicious. Then we can define the condition as well as aggregation in how much count and how much time. We understand high number of Windows login failure attempt last time, brute force attempt last time. Yes or no? If there are 50 login failure in 2 minutes, we should get an alert. This is one of the unusual activity where 1 attempt, 2 attempts, 3 attempts within any time is not a suspicious, but same user multiple attempt within short period of time, we can call it suspicious, right? So we have defined the condition along with 50 in 2 minutes aggregation and from same username. Yes or no? And we can define the action also. If this condition and aggregation matches, what action this rule, correlation rule or use case has to take. We can set an alert. So in the console of your SIEM, you can see the alert. You can set email notification. You can create an auto tickets. Get what I mean? So you will have that. That is the one of the example that we have taken for high number of Windows login failure or root to attempt. That is one example, right? There are so many other use cases that we can create, right? So in typical company, you will see between 30 to 70 around. It may have 100 also, but in 30 to 70 are the normal numbers you will see. Get it? Fine? For Windows only, for example, Windows, we have created one alert, right? One correlation rule, high number of Windows login failure, right? In Windows logs only, based on the Windows logs, we can create such multiple alerts. Some may be critical for some company, some may not be critical. Based on what kind of data they are handling, we can define the criticality of those incidents. For example, I can, based on the Windows logs, I can create an alert if any Windows server gets shut down or gets rebooted, because servers should not get shut down. Servers are hosting critical application that you, me, and other publics are hosting. Yes or no? If any critical server gets shut down, we should get an alert. Maybe it's a compromise, or maybe some insider threats who has done shutdown or rebooted the server. It's a business impact. Get it? If server shut down, we can get an alert. If any account created in Windows and deleted within short period of time, we can create an alert. Yes or no? It can be a compromise where attacker has created an event account and deleted, or maybe insider threat, internal user who has access of creating the account, he want to misuse account. He created account, done some work and deleted so that people will not who will not come to know. Yes or no? So we can set an alert. So particularly, I was talking about only for Windows, right? In Windows only, there are multiple such incident based on the Windows logs only we can create, right? So there are so many, for example, firewall logs. If you see the flood of connections coming in from particular IP address and getting denied on the firewall, maybe somebody is targeting your network, but firewall are denying. But denying the traffic, which is unusual, suspicious, is the actual work, real work of the firewall. So we should not bother about it. But if somebody is targeting your network, means continuously flood of traffic is coming, 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakhs connections are coming in, right? It is unusual, and there might be possible that firewall, it having its own capacity, right? It's having its own bandwidth and resources. If somebody will continuously hit the firewall network, means it can be a targeted attack, right? And maybe firewall may get down, may get rebooted, or may get hang, right? So see, this wall is built so that unauthorized people cannot go inside, right? So if somebody is keeping like this, no problem, because that is why we have wall here. But what if somebody is coming with and hitting with the hammer? We should have a look and check who is hitting. Because there are chances firewall wall will fall down. It will get demolished, right? So if we are seeing high number of connections coming in inside and hitting to the firewall, getting denied, even denying and allowing the traffic is a operational work of the firewall. But if it is continuous flood of traffic coming from particular IP address, it's a abnormal, it's an incident. We should look at it and we should take some action. So based on the firewall logs, I can create a rule that if there are 500 connections coming in and in 1 minute from same source IP, I should get an alert based on the firewall logs. Yes or no? Or if, for example, any source IP from inside connecting to outside, getting denied on the firewall, for example, inside to outside communication is happening. Get it? Getting denied on the firewall. May possible that some malware has been installed, Trojan has been installed. Now, after Trojan has been installed, it will create the backdoor. Yes or no? Means after installing, for example, you received a phishing email. It has a malware attachment. Once the malware has been installed, if it is a Trojan, it will create a backdoor and give the connection to outside attacker command and control server. Get it? But fortunately, your firewall has that IP address listed as blacklist, has the ACL. In that case, firewall will deny the connection. But this malware is nothing but a program script. Until unless it gets successfully connected to the attacker command and control server, continue again, it will try, again, it will try, again, it will try. And resulting, every time it is hitting firewall will deny, and it's generating an event. That particular source IP trying to connect to particular destination IP, and action is deny. Yes or no? In this case, since control is still happening, high number of deny connection will be generated. Yes or no? This is symptoms. So if you see any IP connecting outside and getting deny on the firewall and connection high number, it may be the symptoms of your device or your computer has been compromised. So if you see high number of denied traffic within short period of time going outside, it's abnormal activities. It's a matter of concern. Yes or no? So we can create a rule for that also. If you are seeing high number of connection going outside, getting denied on the firewall, we should get an alert. Yes or no? So do you think that in the billions of logs, you'll be able to keep an eye for 500 deny connection? Because you have so many thousand of logs per second coming in from different devices, logs will get mixed. Manually, you cannot keep an eye, but you can tell your SIEM. SIEM can keep an eye for each and every one which are coming in, correlate and trigger an alert. Once this particular incident has been triggered, right, you can investigate further. What is this source? Why it is going outside? You can check with the user. You can check with the server owner, right? Maybe machine is infected. If it is infected, then you have to understand if machine is infected first, if any workstation, laptop, desktop, right, or any device has been infected, first action is to
isolate
the system from the network to avoid the further infection, right? After that, you can do the further dig down, how the malware came, through email, through web, right? How many, if you email, how many user has received the email, maybe many users have not opened it. There are further investigation that you have to do. That will cover on the later part, right? So that is the incident, that is the correlation rule you have created. Yes or no? For VPN login, for example, some of the user have got the VPN access so that they can connect from home. Your name is Arpit, right? Arpit has connected, VPN because he is working from home from India, right? Within 5 minutes, if he's connected from Australia with the same username Arpit only, don't you think that it's a suspicious activity? Yes or no? We can create a rule for VPN login. If one single user connect in 2 locations within short period of time, it is a matter of concern. Yes or no? We can ask our SIEM to monitor successful event. If there are 2 successful events from same user within short period of time, we should get an alert. It's suspicious VPN login. What could be the reason? There might be possible that Arpit might have shared his password to someone else. Sharing the password, sharing the credential is a violation of policy. You should not share your credential to even your manager also, anyone. Get a point? Understand? So that is one thing. And second thing, may possible that Arpit account has been compromised. Yes or no? Arpit accounts has been compromised, right? That means you understand what is there are different way, right? He might have received an email setting his password is going to expire. He might have put some password somewhere else and a credential has been compromised, right? So this incident reveals that maybe password has been shared or maybe account has been compromised. Both situations are the matter of concern, right? So instead of monitoring ourselves, we can create a correlation rule and get an alert, then we investigate, right? So there are so many such kind of incidents that correlation rule we can create on our SIEM and automate the monitoring, real-time monitoring. That means our SIEM will monitor each and every log on behalf of us. And once the condition fully matched, it will generate an alert. So instead of monitoring billions of logs per day, you monitor a few hundred of alerts. Get a mind? So you will have this kind of channel dashboard, right? In a different SIEM, right? Right? So you will have certain. So what happens is SIEM, you have this SIEM. In SIEM, this is a SIEM, right? In SIEM, you will have the correlation rule. That means the correlation rule that you got a use case that we call correlation rule, right? Various any logs coming in, SIEM will monitor on behalf of the condition that you have written the correlation rule, right? In case any condition fully matched, means rule fully matched, it will trigger an alert within the SIEM only. But you can set an email notification also. Just for visualization, I have written it separately, but within SIEM only you'll get an alert. So you guys will be monitoring this channel or dashboard, right? Where instead of monitoring billions of logs, you'll monitor few hundred of alerts, and those few hundred of alert also can be further optimized. If you understand, some alert fire false positive, means it actually not a suspicious activity, but SIEM has fired an alert. Once you find out it's not a suspicious activity, then you could do the required modification, the correlation rule, so that next time it will not fire unnecessarily. Yes or no? That is called a rule fine tuning. Many of the JD you will see people, you should have experience in writing the correlation rule. This rule, writing the correlation, this is L2, L3 admin activity. Get in mind? So some people may L2 also get the log, but it's a L3 and admin activity, writing the correlation rule, writing the content, writing the use cases, right? So, and second thing, you should have knowledge or experience in optimizing, that means fine tuning the correlation rule, right? Yes or no? Lower the number, more better, more better investigation. Yes or no? If you have 100 tasks to be done within a day, you will get less time to investigate to complete each and every task. If you have 20 tasks to be done within a day, right? That means you will be able to give more time. Why do the unnecessarily work, right? So this unnecessarily work can be reduced by optimizing the fine tuning this correlation rule, right? So once the correlation rule matches, you get an alert here. So each and every alert you have to investigate, right? Get in mind? So you will sit it here and you'll investigate each and every alert, and we'll check it out whether it is true positive or false positive. That means the alert trigger saying that Windows brute force attempt detected. Then you investigate and check it out. How many logs? How many attempts in last 24 hours? Total how many hours? Then you will check with the user or a specific concerned person, concerned team, based on the type of incident, right? Whether it is actually suspicious. First of all, you will investigate yourself based on the logs, right? And based on the process, whether this particular incident is matching and falling under true positive case or not. That means I should consider this an incident or not. If you consider, okay, this is suspicious, on the first attempt of analysis, first level of analysis, you understand this activity can be suspicious. In that case, you create the incident. There is a process for incident. You have to create the ticket. You have to create. I mean, we are going to deep dive on this. I'm just giving a brief idea. Overview you can see. Get I mean? Brief of idea. Each and everything we are going to do it practically here. Get I mean? I'm just giving the overview just in 30-40 minutes class. But our 3-month class, we are going to do all those stuff only. Get I mean? So, क्या बोल रहा था मैं यार? हाँ.
Initialize the analyst by the SIEM.
So once this incident, I was telling you that you might have to follow the email process to report the incident, or you may have to create the ticket also to record ticket. What is ticket? If you don't understand, no problem. I will explain you. And practically hands-on also will go in the ticketing tool. So just to report the incident, right? You means you understand what is true positive. It's a malicious activity. You create on the email, and sometimes you may be able to take the action yourself if you have access, or you have to assign the incident to respective team for further action. Maybe once you assign to respective team, they also will do some kind of analysis on their level. Maybe they can tell that, okay, it's a legitimate activity. Then in that case, we have to close the case once we get the response. Or they may take the action, they may block or whatever action you have taken. After that, we will close the incident. Get in mind? So we are responding this incident, right? The SOC team is also called as incident response team. Get in mind? So 24/7, we have to monitor, and for each and every incident, there is a severity defined. Once the incident will trigger, right? That means once we write the correlation rule, not every rule is going to fire every day. Some rule, low severity rule, mostly medium severity rule may fire, because the severe attacks are not coming every day. Sometimes you will see those kind of activities, right? But normal activity, high number of Windows login failure, high number of denied traffic, some of the correlation rule you will find on a daily basis, right? So whenever we write the correlation rule here, we define the severity, how severe it is. How severe means more impact, more the business impact, more the severity. Understand everybody severity? Severity 1, severity 2, critical is high severity, critical, right? Severity 1, severity 1, severity 2, severity 3, like this. Understand everybody severity, right? Severity means based on the impact, right? So whenever we create the correlation rule, we define the severity, how severe it is. Get in mind, means if this particular incident is severity one means critical. It's a big, once it is trigger, if it is true positive means if it is actually a suspicious activity, then huge business impact. Maybe some compromise will happen where a lot of users have been compromised, a lot of computer have been compromised. This will be called as severity 1, means critical. Yes or no? So what happens is, based on the we have, for example, you have 50 correlation rule here. So every correlation rule, there will be severity. Either maybe severity 1, 2, 3, 4, like this you define, or low severity, medium severity, high severity, critical. That kind of name you will define. Yes or no? So being a security analyst, you have to follow and investigate based on severity. If you have, for example, 50 rule trigger, incident trigger here, you see in the panel, one rule is low severity, which have been triggered 4 hours back, and one rule is high severity, which triggered 15 minutes back. So first, which incident you will investigate? First one, which is critical, high severity. Yes or no? Because in further classes, I will explain you what are the different type of SOC. Sometimes the company on which you're working, you're working on the own SOC or on your company SOC. Sometimes you're working for service provider such as Accenture, Tech Mahindra, Wipro, TCS, Ericsson. These are service provider companies which are providing SOC services to different companies. They're telling that you don't have to bother about your security. We are giant in cyber security service provider. We have certified expert people. You don't have to bother. You focus on your core business. Let's outsource your SOC to us. Yes or no? In that case, when these third-party company outsource the SOC with us, we sign the SLA with them. We call it service level of agreement. And this incident response investigation is the part of SLA. Get in mind, we define, okay, this critical incident should be responded, analyzed, and responded within 15 minutes. Means high severity, severity 1 should be within 15 minutes, severity 2 within 2 hours or 4 hours, severity 3 within 8 hours, severity 4 within 1 day. Yes or no? Understand? High the criticality, high the severity, more the impact, and should have lower the SLA. High impact should be investigated further and taken the action to stop that activity. Yes or no? So each and every incident will have the SLA we have to follow being a SOC team, right? If you are on the SOC, some alert trigger, you have not reported, investigated on time, that means you have violated the SLA. So we signed the SLA with the companies that we will follow the SLA of these incidents. Within the SLA, we'll take the action, we'll respond. I mean, every month we justify our work to the client. Yes or no? If anybody has violated the SLA, that means has not reported any of you, that means you might be punished or you might be scolded by your manager, because anyways, manager has to answer to the client. Yes or no? When your manager has the monthly meeting with the client, manager will have some statistics saying that we have followed and we have met 99% SLA, 98%, 100%, very good this month. Yes or no? So if you are violating the SLA again, my client may do the fine for your company and may get back their project next year. They may not renew. The company are getting project maybe for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years, for 5 years, like that, right? They may stop the project because your team, your company is not giving, not giving outcomes, not meeting the SLA. Yes or no? So based on that, we have to follow the SLA, right? Multiple time mistake is a crime. You might be fired from the company also. Get in mind? Because the SOC is 24/7 monitoring. We have to keep the SLA in mind. Get in mind? Understand? So this is one work. Level 1 work, level 1 people mostly will do it. Up to 1 to 3 years people mostly will do this job. Monitoring work, right? After that also, L2 also may do this work, but mostly some critical incident or L1 may include some, escalate some cases to L2, right? Also L2 can keep an eye whether team is following the proper process or not. When they are raising the incident, they're writing the proper description or not. Whether they are investigating proper or not before responding to the case. Get a point? It might be the L2 activity, or sometime your designation is L2, your 5 years experience, but you might be doing along with the L1. It depends on your company to company and depends on your capabilities. Apart from that, see now, see what all things are involved in doing real-time monitoring. First of all, you have to deploy your SIEM. Yes or no? First of all, deploy your SIEM. So deployment, lot of process that will be explaining you in maybe in one and next to next week. Next to next week, that how we can plan the SIEM deployment. There are multiple considerations that you have to do. How many branches we have, how many data center. I'll tell you what is data center. Means where we deploy our tools, right? That you call a data center. How many data center we have? Then which component we have to deploy where. This SIEM is not a single device. These are multi-level of tools. They have distributed architecture. That means within a SIEM, they will have multiple components to enable all to fulfill all these two objectives. They will have multiple components which does the different work, right? For collecting the logs, different component. Collecting the logs and normalizing a different component. Keeping the logs for different component, and searching and reporting and real-time monitoring, correlation alerting, different component. Sometimes one task also multiple instances for load balance. Get it? So SIEM in enterprise network is not a all-in-one device. It has a distributed architecture, different component to do the different work. Get it? So this, to reach this real-time monitoring, correlation alerting, first of all, planning, solutioning. Planning matlab, first of all, we understand the whole architecture. Then solutioning, we have to solution, right? That means which SIEM tool we have to deploy, right? And how much the license we have to buy, how many server resources we need. Everything we'll discuss on the next class, next week classes, right? We'll take a project from another company. We'll take a project from another company, being a SIEM expert, and end-to-end we'll understand how to create a solution. And to understand what are things we discussed with the client, each and every for deployment, right? So first place is planning, solutioning. After getting solution, how much license required, how much server resources required, then deployment means implementation. After that, we have to implement, means all the components we have to deploy. After deployment, we have to do the integration. All your network device, security device, servers, application, databases should be forwarding the logs to SIEM. Yes or no? That means we have to get the logs. That we call as integration of devices. That process we call as integration of devices, or data source onboarding, because we are onboarding the different devices to a SIEM, right? Onboarding, right? To get the logs, we call as everything will write step by step. We are going to do all these activities practically, right? So just understand as of now. Written work will do everything step by step. So first of all, integration of devices. That means getting the devices logs to your SIEM, router, switches, firewall, IPS, IDS, DLP, email gateway, all this Windows, Linux, all these logs you have to get into a SIEM. This is not a one-time process. Initially, for example, initially you have 800 devices. While you deploy a SIEM, you have 800 devices. So you have to ensure that all 800 devices are forwarding the logs. That means we call it integrating. That means all 800 devices have been integrated with your SIEM. Integrated means are forwarding the logs. Not integrated means not connected, not forwarding the logs. This process called integration of devices, log source onboarding, data source onboarding. Majority of the JDs you will see, you should have, if you're more than 3 years experience, that you should have experience on data source onboarding, device integration, log source integration, that kind of things you will do in the JD. Get it right? So first of all, you have to get those devices integrated. That is not a one-time activity, because right now during the deployment, you have 800 devices, for example, you have integrated slowly 800 devices, but with time, your company will grow. Number of devices will be growing. New Windows server, Linux server to host the application, new router, new firewall, new security devices based on the new threats. Those devices also you have to get it integrated, right? So integration of devices is the continuing process. Maybe L2, some of the L2 or L3 is admin work, means L3 admin work, but maybe admin is too much occupied. So any of the L2 or some of the L2 may get this role of integration of devices also. Person who are involved in integrating of devices, they will have more, attitude, because that is more technical work, right? People who are just doing the monitoring, right? And people who are doing integration devices, they will have attitude like we are doing very big things, because not everybody is getting this opportunity and not everybody is having this kind of skills. Because what happens is, once you go to the company, you get the role-based access. You understand this is a requirement from audit perspective also. Not everybody can have full access. Otherwise, any changes is very critical, right? Some people who are doing the monitoring work, they may end up doing the monitoring work for many years. But yeah, if you are not driving, you're not at all driving, just always sitting on the back seat, you'll never know how to drive. Similarly, these people are doing monitoring continuously. They never have got the opportunity to do all those stuff. Yes or no? So that is what happening. So some of the people may get this opportunity to integrate some device. That is a continuous operations work, installing the requiring SIM component and then getting the devices in, the locks into SIM. That is another task, integration of devices, getting the locks. Now next task is the configuration. While we do the implementation, we do some basic configuration, right? Like how long we want to hold the locks. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years, right? We configure the retention period. Understand what I'm saying? How long you want to retain the lock on a SIM, right? Now getting the locks on various devices. How long you keep the locks on a SIM, that we have to configure. Required backup setting means if any, in case something is down or data got corrupted, we should have some backup. Backup setting also we define. There are multiple configurations that you have to do. Then to automate, we have to write the correlation rule to automate the incident detection process. That will call as correlation rules or use cases. Understand? So that we have to write. So based on each and every devices, see the full game of your SIM is based on the logs only. For Windows devices logs, which activities are suspicious, we can detect using a correlation rule based on the Windows log condition, and it will interpret. So we have different devices. We have firewall, we have proxy, we have email gateway, we have antivirus. Based on the different devices logs, what all things are suspicious, we can write correlation rule based on those logs, and we can get an alert. Writing the correlation rule means use cases is also continuous process. During the deployment period, you may define some use cases, some rules, because solution architect or people who are part of deployment, they are not a fresher. They have full experience of operations, administration. Then they came on the deployment. Deployment is not a deployment of particular software. Installing software is not a deployment. That software to koi bhi install kar sakta hai. Anybody can install software. Some people are installing Splunk. They're saying, I have an idea of installing this. I have experience installing the Splunk because I have installed this Splunk. By installing the Splunk is not a big task, and a layman can install it. It's just next process. Manage the concept, how we are going to achieve different things. Manage the configuration that we have to do, that understanding. Get a point? So, so what I was saying, that is the implementation task, right? Doing the implementation. So creating the cruise, so initial deployment time, we understand experienced people based on, okay, these devices you have, okay, based on these devices, we can write this number of correlation rule, or firewall 3 rule, for Windows 4 rule, for Linux 2, 3 rules for different devices, right? Initially, we can define. Now, after implementation, now implementation team will give the handover to the operations team. Implementation is one-time activities, right? Maybe implementation team will be different. Who will do the implementation? Now, once they will do the implementation, they will do some kind of so that the SIM will come stable, some kind of initial resource they will create. Then they will give the handover to the operations team, like SOC team. Operations, L1, L2, L3 administrator, all are the part of operations, daily operations. Now, L2, L3 administrator, based on the type of logs you're having, type of devices you're integrating, they may write certain more rules. Or some rules might be firing more, unnecessarily a lot of time. They may do the required changes in fine tuning of the rules. So this is also a continuous process. Yes, so your L1 team, because monitoring is at the end of the day, is being done by L1 only. Yes or no? So L1 may suggest L1 will not have access to create any use case rule or to modify any rule. But if your foundation is clear, then you will be able to analyze and tell your administrator that this rule is firing a lot of time unnecessarily false positive. If we change this condition or we widely certain points, then we can optimize this rule, fine tune this rule so that it not fire false positive. So L1 can suggest some kind of modification, fine tuning if they have knowledge. Not everybody is having, because everybody they are joining, they start monitoring this while just learning what other people are doing. Their foundation is not at all clear. If base is strong, then only you will have strong building. Yes or no? If base is not strong, you never knows. Yes or no? Always will be scared. Are you copy paste, asking someone, right? Asking someone what to do, what action has to be taken. Because the concept is not clear. Main is the base. Base is strong, that you understand. You'll be full of confidence, you'll get the respect, and you'll go exponentially, grow exponentially. Main is base. So, so L1 will generally have the responsibility of monitoring 24/7, taking the alert, incident response, escalating to L2, right? L2 might be involved in integration of devices, writing the correlation rule. Administrator, then administrator work is this integration of devices, writing the correlation rule, actual falls under administrator job. But administrator may not have time to do all those activities. In that case, it might be assigned to L2 as well. Administrator main work is to ensure that all the component of your device, here it is SIM. Administrator role is not only for SIM, for all the devices, either your server devices, server administrator, your network device, network administrator, right? All the devices will have some administrator. Your SIM administrator role, which is one of the technical role, right? SIM administrator ensure that all the component of our SIM are healthy. If any component is not healthy or having some problem, it is his responsibility to find out the root cause and troubleshoot the problem. His administrator is an experienced person who has already gone through, came from the operations staff. If you become the administrator directly, you might not be able to troubleshoot the problem, to identify the problem, because you have never worked on the operations. Yes or no? That is the reason. Means who has not done the farming ever, right? And he is suggesting you that, okay, you use this kind of urea or DAP, whatever it is, this chemical you use, right? Or this time you should go for this kind of crops and all, right? So he's not having experience. He has never done the farming, right? The person who has gone through that step, he will give the better suggestion. Similarly, the person who is administrator, he actually comes through operations. He knows what are the different issues, what exactly analysts work on the SOC operations. Get a mind? So ensure that all the components are healthy. In any case, any problem, any component is having problem, he has to troubleshoot it. And on the second level of support, he is having from technical support. For example, if you have bought the ArcSight SIM from Micro Focus, then you have the support from Micro Focus. If you have Splunk, then you have Splunk support. If you have CUDA, then you have IBM support. If you have Sentinel, you have Microsoft Sentinel support. And that also we have the SLA with them based on the criticality. Some problem happen, if it is bigger business impact, 15 minutes maybe SLA, within 15 minutes they will assist you, they will get in the call to solve the problem, right? So being an administrator, you'll get a lot of learning when you call to support, because support person will come in the call, they will ask you to share the screen, they will identify and they will take the screen sometime control of your screen, they will do some kind of identification of the problem, right? If you are actually a good learner, you'll learn a lot of things while you get in the technical call, right? So you can see the career perspective. If you're talking technical career, it depends. If people here are starting people up to maybe for example, you have gap of 2 years or 3 years, you'll become L1, right? Initially up to 3 years. If you will justify 2 years experience, for example, you'll become L1 only, right? Up to 3 years generally, L1, right? You might get this work of monitoring. Get what I mean? So the level start from L1, L2, means monitoring work. Monitoring this operations means integration of devices, then administration. Technical, I'm talking about technical career. Then administration, L2, L1, then maybe L1, L2, then L3. L3 can be administrator or can be the part of incident response team only. L3s are not always administrator. Get it? Understand? L3 may be the part of your incident response only, SOC operations only. Maybe he's handling escalations or he's reviewing the task, what you are doing, and observing all the activities, right? Depend on the company to company. Administrator, a technical person, more technical person who will do all this stuff. So you, if you're the beginner, L1, L2, maybe L3 administrator, technically administrator. Now after administrator, you can be part of implementation team. You now, once you have full experience on operations, administration, then you can be the part of implementation team. If you become the part of implementation team, that means a lot of exposure you will get. You'll not see where you are. I mean, from learning perspective, exponential growth, because not everybody is so technical. Not everybody had this knowledge experience. If you wanted to go technically, otherwise L3 बाद you can become the team lead. You can start handling the team. You don't have to work on tool now. You can start handling the team, and you can, you can manage your team to follow the SLA, all incident and response. You talk to the client and everything, right? That is techno management role. You'll become technical lead. Team lead means techno management. You will not be further working in the tool directly. Get a point? Who is not in mute? I'll give you time. I'll give the time to ask question. Okay, just keep it mute for now. So what I was saying. After that, either you can be part of administrator or implementation team, or you can be L2 monitoring team. Then further, after being experience of 5, 6 years, 7 years, you might become team lead. You can start managing the team. Get your mind? No need to log in on tool now anymore, right? If you want to go to technical field, technical path, right? Then administration, then implementation, the last is solution architect. Now you're not going to deploy any tools, but you know the end-to-end. Solutioning, designing, sizing, this is done by the technical solution architect. Solution architect or implementation, these are highly respected people. Technical people will always get the respect. Some people, okay, I don't want to do, I want to go good time, because see, if you're part of technical team means always learning. After L3, L2, you're working, you got married, you have kids, all sorry, because in the technical, always you have to keep learning, keep updating yourself. You never know when the new technology, new tool will come. So always learning, and always you have to put some time, also different time you might have to work if you're going to different implementation. While after team lead, you become assistant manager, senior manager, director, right? They will have a straightforward life. That means they may not have to put much effort. They will just go to the company, okay, work is fine, some client call, always you call. You always see the call. See, management, okay, you call all the time. This team call, client call, manager call, director call. Always, if you're working in a SOC, you might realize you might have seen your manager, right? Always he is on call, Whole day is going on call only. That is a techno management role. That is a whole career path. Understand? Everybody is clear? Any confusion? Now you can turn on your mic if you have any confusion.
Sir, can you just define SLA?
SLA is nothing but service level agreement. SLA. See, if you are outsourcing any services or taking the service from any service provider, right? There will be one agreement will be signed between you and between service provider. Get it mind? That means what work will be done by within what period of time, right? Generally for SOC monitoring, SOC project, we signed the SLA. SLA means service level agreement. Means agreement will be signed between service provider and service taker. Yes or no? So that is called SLA. In case of SOC, we define the SLA for example, this particular use incident. What incident will be responded within what period of time? This SLA called incident response SLA. Incident response SLA means within what period you assign. So SLA is not only security. SLA can be for any agreement. For example, you have taken the direct lease line from the internet service provider, direct dedicated lease line. Then internet service provider saying that 99% it will be up all the time, but will sign the SLA. If any problem happen, within what period you will recover and you will restore the connectivity, right? They will again sign an SLA. For any service you buy or subscribe, if it enterprise environment, there will be an SLA. Get in mind, there should not be much interruption, right? Particular service, what is the agreement? Got it?
Sir,
SLA is also known as the KPI, right, sir? KPI.
Of course. KPI matter means key performance indicators, right? So at the end of the month, being a SOC manager, at the end of the month, I will share some metrics, some reports. Means, see, if you are taking some work and you are getting paid, you have to justify your work in certain parameters that actually call as key performance metrics. Yes or no? Key performance indicators, certain metrics against that you will evaluate your performance. Being a manager or being a SOC team, you're being paid, right? You're getting paid because you have taken the project, but you have to justify what work you have done, how your team has performed. So every month we'll have a meeting with the client, we'll share that indicator reports, monthly report or KPI, which have the KPI matrix. How much was the SLA? Last month, what was it is? This month, how much it is? How many incident has been triggered? How many incident has been triggered? How many incident have been triggered? How many true positive? How many false positive? How many total cases you have raised? Yes or no? How many severity one incident? You're just severity one critical. Then full report you have defined. Get in mind? Full report, how was the incident occurred, what investigation you have done, what was your observation, what was the remediation step, what was the conclusion, what was the root cause. Fully you have to tell to the client. Get in mind? The report will have multiple parameters that define the whole work. Everybody who are getting paid, they will be evaluated. You will not get paid for free. You have to justify your work. Yes or no? So every month, your manager will collect such information, how many ticket has been created, right? Collect some information from you. You guys might be involved in creating the reports also. Some information you will add, some information you will add, some information different people will add, right? Then consolidated report will be sent to your manager. Manager will review, and he needs some changes. He will get some changes, and then we'll share the client. Then we'll schedule a call. Maybe, for example, last month call will happen on 5th or 6th of this month. Then he'll be in the call. He will take some technical people also in the call, because you are working on your ground worker, right? Something technical, maybe you will be explaining. Some administrator or some technical people also within the call along with him, so that you can actually tell the actual fee. If any changes required to be done, we can tell to the client also on the call. Okay, this change we have job, this change is required, because you actually work on the client side, client SOC. Any changes you cannot do yourself without the sign off, means approval from the client. Yes or no? Those all changes can be discussed during the call. Okay, got it? Any confusion? Any question?
sir, which SIEM tool is more demanded nowadays?
I will tell you.
Sir, through the VPN, multiple user can access from the single username and password. Is it possible?
It depends. It depends if concurrent account is allowed. So that means you're asking about suspicious VPN login, right? Suspicious. It is possible. It is possible, but we have some configuration settings also, right? It is possible. Maybe you access the VPN at the same time other people also access the VPN, right? So in that case, so it depends on company to company. If they have blocked it, means single instance only, means single person at the same time can connect. Then second person will not be able to connect, right? But they have not implemented. For example, we have implemented a policy in our VPN that one person, for example, we are implementing on Zoom also. Monday onwards, only registered people for regular batch only will be able to join. They have to register on the Zoom. I will share the Zoom link, and then you'll get dedicated link on your email. So only one person can join on the same link. If you ever share that link to anyone else, maybe who will join first, he'll be able to join, other person will not be able to join. That link will be unique for you. That means only you can join. If you share the link to anybody else, if he joins first, then you will not be able to join. Get it? So that is single device. Only single device can log in. Or similarly, we can achieve this for VPN also, or any kind of access also. We can restrict how many active sessions. Okay, got it?
Sir, like
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Explained the true positive and false positive. So yesterday I was going over the internet and found the term false positive and false negative. So
False
what is
negative.
false negative?
Right. We'll discuss further in this training. Once we have the cases, then we'll further discuss on the cases. Mostly, when you're investigating, you'll only come across false positive or true positive. Those terms we'll be using. But false negative and true negative, there are two more terms. For now, you do the research yourself. Just one-liner thinks it is, but this is not a correct time, right? You do the research yourself and you tell me.
Sir,
Yes.
so what is the duration of weekend batches?
Again, 3 months, both weekend, weekdays, because weekdays happens Monday to Thursday. 2 hours a day means total 8 hours. And weekend happens Saturday and Sunday, 8 to 12, means 4 hours a day, 8 hours a week, right? Both duration is 3 months only.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so if you talk about SIEM tools, some of the leading tools such as Splunk, IBM QRadar,
Sir, how we can get the logs from
ArcSight.
firewall and routers?
1 minute, I'll take your question. IBM, it is IBM QRadar, ArcSight, and
Azure Sentinel.
Microsoft, Azure Sentinel, और कौन सा है?
Rapid7. Sumo Logic.
I'm talking about top. इसके अलावा क्या है? Logarithm.
Elastic.
That is not much usable. सबसे ज़्यादा use है, सबसे ज़्यादा one that is most deployment. I'm talking about most of the deployment so far. Get it? Most of the deployment you'll see on the Splunk. Most of the deployment. Why? Because Splunk and ArcSight, these 3 tools are oldest tool in the market. These 3 tools are the oldest tool in the market. ArcSight started in 2000. IBM QRadar, I think 2005. I'm not very sure about it. Splunk started in 2010. Get it? So these were tools in the leader in the market. ArcSight was current leader for 14 years in the market for 14 years. Concurrently, it was a leader in the market, but now it is not. Right now, it is not. But deployment, if you talk about, a lot of deployment has been done for ArcSight. Splunk is still leader in the market. Splunk is still leader in the market. It is available in the on-premises also. That means you can deploy on your own data center. Means using this, you can cook the food yourself, as well as using this items you can use on the cloud kitchen also. Yes or no? That means it's available in the on-premise deployment also, where you deployment integration yourself, configuration yourself, and it's available in the cloud as well. IBM QRadar is mostly preferred in on-premises. ArcSight is also mostly on-premises, but available on the cloud as well. Microsoft Sentinel is a cloud native. I'm going to my native place. It's a cloud native, means it's only available on Azure cloud, meaning Microsoft own cloud. And it's a cloud-based solution. Why we have not included Microsoft Sentinel in our SOC training? Because here we want to cover end-to-end, means configuration, integration, everything, deployment. So in cloud tools, it's already deployed, right? We cook food, you just have to pay and get it, eat. Similarly, cloud device is already deployed, pre-configured, just kind of plug and play. That's the reason we have not included this. It is started in 2019. I recently came across one of the JD. It is written, we want expert in Microsoft Sentinel. an experience should be having on Sentinel 10 plus years.
Sir, excuse, what is it written?
Wait a minute.
Microsoft?
What I'm saying is, I have recently came across the JD. It is written, we want Microsoft Sentinel expert and should have 10 plus year experience in deployment and configuring and administrating Microsoft Azure Sentinel. So what do you know? Why am I saying this?
It came on 2019, but
It is coming out 19.
It started in 2019. The person who has written the JD, he's telling in 10 plus experience in Microsoft Azure Sentinel.
It is only 4 years old. Yeah.
The tool is started in 2019, and they are expecting from people who started working in Sentinel 2013. Get it, mind? They do not know that just 4 years, just 4th year going on for Microsoft Sentinel, and they're asking for 10 years of experience, right? So the thing is, any SIM tool, if you have work experience, any SIM tool is fine. Either you drive Honda City, Mercedes, or Maruti 800, right? The objective is same. Yes or no? To bring you from source to destination. They have 4 wheels, they have gear, they have steering, they have clutch, they have brakes. Yes or no? On objective, basic objective, main objective also same, to bring you from source to destinations. Now, but some people still buy Mercedes. Some people also do not buy Honda City. They go for Alto 800. Yes or no? So, but objective is same, right? Main feature, what you achieve from Mercedes, the Alto also by paying only 5 lakhs or by paying 1 crore. The main features are same. So don't you think that if you drive Alto, you can also drive Mercedes? Almost, right? If you drive Mercedes, you can drive Honda City or Alto also, right? Similarly, because car is the technology. If you know the feature, how to drive, you can drive. Similarly, SIM is the technology. The objective that we have from one tool, same objective we have from other tool also. That is the reason in many of the JDs, you will see, okay, we want experienced person from SIM tool, either 𝐓𝐸𝐬𝐧𝐢, Splunk, 𝐿DAR, or any other tool, SIM tool. Many of the JD, you will see multiple tool has been written. Even though they have requirement for example, 𝐓𝐸𝐬𝐧𝐢. But even if you have 𝐿DAR or Splunk or other, they are fine, because they know that person who know the driving, he can drive any car. Know the driving means if his concept is clear. Working in the tool, I know that, okay, this is the function here, this is the function here, does not make any sense. You can work on that tool only. But your concept is clear, what exactly you're doing here, why you are doing. If this concept is clear, you can work on any technology, any tool. Got it, mind? For example, I have a Splunk. Now you understand, for SIM technology, you have to install, then you have to get the data in means integration devices. Then you have to write the correlation rule. Everything. Then you have to monitor. Then once you deploy, for example, 𝐓𝐸𝐬𝐧𝐢, you understand, okay, which component of 𝐓𝐸𝐬𝐧𝐢 is having, Splunk is having this component to collect the logs, this component to keep the log for a long time, and this for searching, reporting, and monitoring. Then which component of 𝐓𝐸𝐬𝐧𝐢 is doing the same work? Which component collect, for example, in a Splunk, we have forwarders to collect the logs, separate component. In 𝐓𝐸𝐬𝐧𝐢, we have connected to collect the logs. In the 𝐿DAR, we have event collector to collect the logs. In the 𝐓𝐸𝐬𝐧𝐢, you call a receiver, which collect the logs. In Microsoft, Azure Sentinel, we have MMA agent for Microsoft to collect the logs. Get it, mind? But yeah, log sab collect nahi karna padega na. Now if your Honda is clear, you understand which component collect the logs. Yes or no? Then we have to configure, settings to keep the log for a long time. There will vary the option to retain the logs, to keep how much storage, how much retention period. Vary the option here, vary the option here, vary the option here. Everywhere you will see the option. Yes or no? Then searching option, some search query, write to search query. Every SIM tool you see search query. You can write and select the time and see the logs. Every SIM tool you see the same thing. Same thing means same feature. Write in the correlation rule. Here also, here also, here also, here also. Maybe the writing the query, maybe the query language is different, little different. But if your concept is clear, you can learn that query also. For example, your Splunk uses SPL, Splunk search processing language to search. Your, 𝐿DAR uses aerial AQL, aerial query language, little different. Your 𝐓𝐸𝐬𝐧𝐢 uses field-based searches. Your Microsoft Azure uses KQL language, push to query language, little different. Get it? The basic feature remains same. Understand? If you work on one SIM tool, you can learn any SIM tool if your concept is clear. You just go through the document, or you can install in your system somewhere, cloud or somewhere. You can review the feature. Okay, this feature is in the SIM tool. Where is the feature? You can go through the document. You'll understand. I'm telling you. You can work on anything. For now, if you give me any device in security, not only SIM tool, I worked on firewall, different devices. You can give any vendor devices. If my concept is clear, I'll be able to do that. I'll be able to implement. I'll be able to do anything. Man, in the concept. So you should go for core things. For the foundation, for the core concept. Because technology will get changed. Technology will get changed. Vendor will get changed with time. Yes or no? But if concept is clear, then you can work on any technology, any tools. Understand? The only one thing is required reading. You should have the habit of reading. Get it, mind? Without even watching the videos. Not for now. Once you become more mature, right? Once you have the habit, start reading it more instead of watching. It will take 1/4 time, even less than that, compared to your trainings and videos. Get it, mind? So that is one thing. So that is what in the SOC training we are going to cover Splunk and 𝐓𝐫𝐚𝐢𝐧𝐢𝐴. Splunk is one of the leader. 𝐓𝐫𝐚𝐢𝐧𝐢𝐴 has less demand in the market, but many of the previous deployment. Why we are covering 𝐓𝐫𝐚𝐢𝐧𝐢𝐴 also in this training is because 𝐓𝐫𝐚𝐢𝐧𝐢𝐴 will not see any training outside the market. One thing is license is not free. Minimum license cost in India require 23 lakhs per year. You will not see any trainings, right? So people who are searching, looking for a job market, they may get better offers, better opportunities. Why? Because you will not see any training. Because this is not at all free. License version only. If anyone want to train you, they need 23 lakhs rupees per year, train you. That is one reason. If you cover it, the most probability you'll get the job fast. Splunk, one of the leader in the market, one of the fastest growing tool since 5-6 years, continually leader in the Gartner. If you become the expert in the Splunk, the sky is the limit. Because this is one of the complex tools as of now in the market. One of the complex tools. It is not only SIM tool. Your 𝐓𝐫𝐚𝐢𝐧𝐢𝐴, IBM Curator, 𝐓𝐓𝐷, Microsoft Logarithm, all are SIM tool only. A Splunk is not only a SIM tool. It is being used for data analytics also. It is SIM plus data analytics tool. Many of the people will learn Splunk, but not from security perspective. These all SIM tool means security, information, and event management used for only for SIEM, security perspective. But Splunk is not a only SIM, means not that it does not have only security feature, but it is also being used for data analytics. Even though Splunk was used only for data analysis only. Later on 2012 or 13, they identify, okay, there are good demand of SIM. And they have added security feature, SIM feature also in the Splunk. And Splunk is being used as a SIM tool as well. The complex is, their architecture is very complex. It's a very high capacity SIM. Means it can receive crores of event, billions of event compared to other tool. It's having high EPS. But architecture is very complex because the component where you're keeping the log for a long time, right? It's not a single component. It has cluster of component. For example, indexer. In a Splunk, we call it indexer. So we don't have only one index. You may have 10 indexer, 20 indexer, 50 indexers also. Architecture is very complex. Since the tool is complex, very good technical knowledge required, and you won't find many people who have that core technical knowledge. That is the reason people who are having good technical knowledge, who can implement, who can administrate a Splunk, they are getting highly paid. Of course, something which is difficult, right? And difficult to find will get paid more. Get it mind? So solutioning, designing, implementation, operations, at least administrator of this Splunk will be highly paid person. Because not easy to learn. Things are not very straightforward here. After many years of working and then so many deployment, I have simplified the way of learning. I have simplified the way of learning. You can easily learn. But I'm telling you, if you go through a document, If you go through any videos outside, I'm telling you, things are not, everything are not at the place, at the same place. Something you learn, something you learn this thing, but you will not be aware where to start now. Something you learn here, somebody you learn here, somebody you learn here, but how to consolidate what is the actual learning path. You will not find everything.
Doors will open on the left. Please mind the gap.
अर्चना मेट्रो में वो ऐसे ज्वाइन किया होगा. अरे फिर म्यूट कर लिया. म्यूट ही नहीं हो रहा है, क्या बात है? I'm not able to mute. So any question, any confusion? Now I'll be showing you.
Sir, we will work on ARC side or Splunk.
Both will be covered here. In this training, you will get ARC side. One minute. In this training, SOC training, regular training, you are going to get access on ARC side, all the components, including command center, connector, command center, logger, ESM, multiple component. That is going to learn practically, and you'll get the hands-on for 3 months. Second is Splunk, including Splunk Enterprise Security. Keep in mind, Splunk has the data analytics work also and security. Splunk architecture, one core architecture is same for security also and for data analytics also. And that Splunk Enterprise is freely available for 60 days in the market. But if you want to use Splunk for cyber security, Om Tiwari, lot of noise from your end. So what I'm saying is, if you want to use Splunk from security perspective, the separate component has to be deployed because Splunk Enterprise Security. Splunk Enterprise Security is not at all free. Anybody, if you are getting to learn from outside, Splunk, some other people also we have here. So if you're learning from outside, you ask them, are they going to teach you Splunk Enterprise Security? And or are they going to give the access to Splunk Enterprise Security? Is not free. Minimum license cost 25 lakhs per year. You may end up learning only Splunk Enterprise, not the actual Splunk Enterprise Security, which we use for security perspective, SIEM perspective. Without Splunk Enterprise Security, Splunk is not an SIEM. Get it mind? Splunk Enterprise Security is necessary. Then only people learn Splunk. Okay, Splunk has good demand in security, right? They join outside and they end up learning only Splunk Enterprise because they do not know. You tell Splunk, they will teach you Splunk, but you did not tell them that I have to learn Splunk Enterprise Security because you are not aware. And without Splunk Enterprise Security, Splunk is not a SIEM. So in this training, we'll cover ArcSight plus Splunk. Plus also we have training for Nessus vulnerability management, separate training. But in this class, we'll give the access to those sessions. Self-paced sessions so that you can add resume that you have done Nessus vulnerability management also. Nowadays, EDR is also booming in the market, coming in the market. We would have added, but it's not mandatory to learn. We would have added EDR also in the SOC. But since its license is also costly, if you add that EDR also SOC, the cost of the training will be higher. That is why we have not added. But for SOC batch, we'll give you 50% discount compared to outside people. So that if anybody wants to add EDR also, we recently acquired the license. And in India, we are the only one who have enterprise license. I mean, from training institution perspective, who have the enterprise license for one of the leader of the market, which is CrowdStrike EDR. EDR, you'll see majority of time CrowdStrike. Second number is Microsoft Defender. Get it? So recently we covered the license, and we want people who want to become expert. They should have hands-on. Whatever training we have in SIEM XPERT means all our hands-on training with practical access, not theoretical trainings. So quickly, I will show you how we can see the real-time incident. Right? Everything we are going to do practical on the session, but let me show you how it looks.
Which tool is easy to learn?
Every tool is easy to learn.
So which one is Mercedes and which one is Alto?
If you see Splunk. This tool, Splunk, QRadar, ArcSight, Microsoft Sentinel, these are the 4 tools you will see most of the deployment. Sentinel came just 4 years back. So from number perspective, it is not more, but many of the new developments also happen in Sentinel. Splunk, many of deployment now also, and in previous also. So we'll see numbers are very high in case of Splunk. ArcSight is not being deployed very fast like other tool, but it has many previously deployed because migration is not easy. Implementation cost is very high. These tools are very costly. For any of the tool you deploy in the company, it will cost 2 to 3 crores for licensing deployments, configuration. Deployment and configuration maybe take 6 months to a year. So if you don't like any tool, you want to migrate to some other tool, it's not an easy task. Can you mind? So any of the tool you will learn, it's fine, no problem. Manage the concept.
Sir, out of these, which one is the user friendly?
Sorry, come back.
So out of these SIEM tools, you have told 𝐓𝐫𝐚𝐢𝐧𝐢𝐧𝐬, other tools, right? 𝐂𝐞𝐫𝐭𝐢𝐿. So out of these, so which one is user friendly?
User friendly, you see, for 𝐓𝐺 query language is very easy. For Splunk, dashboard is very good. Dashboard looks very attractive, right? Query is little difficult, but complex is very architecture is very complex. When you see the console of 𝐓𝐺, it maybe look very complex. If you look on the Splunk console, it looks like very easy. But 𝐓𝐺 easy to learn and configure. While in the backend of the Splunk is complex. Sentinel is cloud-based, so not much activity required in Sentinel perspective. That is the reason I'm not including, because not much activity required in Sentinel perspective. It's already configured, already integration is very easy, just one click. So most of the company we have most of the devices deploy in the cloud. It's very easy for them to deploy. Deployment cost is also very. For example, you have some Windows devices, servers, and deploy in the cloud only. Azure Sentinel is also cloud. Just one click, you can integrate devices. It's very easy, right? That's the reason from exposure perspective, maybe you get less because it's very easy to handle.
Okay, it's like a plug and play.
Just more effort you have to put to understand, little effort to understand language, push to query language.
And sir, what about QRadar?
QRadar is easy to deploy, easy to configure. Simplified. It is simple than 𝐓𝐺 and Splunk.
Sir, Rapid7.
But there are so many other tools. I'm just talking about 3-4 tools which are mostly deployed in the market.
Sir, when it's advisable for our SOC batch to join that EDR training after completing this
After
SOC?
completion, because the batch has been designed in such a way that you are already working in SOC or you have taken the training on the SOC. It is not recommended as of now, you'll not understand.
Okay. So after completing the SOC batch,
after completing SOC batch, then you can learn. See, I'm telling you, I mean, especially for people who are, I'm not telling for freshers or some people who are not earning, right? Their objective should be is to get the job. Objective is to get the job. People who are already working, I'm telling you, spend some amount of time and spend some amount of money also for learning every year. If you spend 5% of or 10% of total earning in a year, at least 5% you can spend at least 5% in a year. You'll get 30-40% with interest. Don't get saturated once you get the job. You keep learning new technology, new things, then only you'll go exponentially. Yes or no? Otherwise, keep learning, keep working on 10 years. Do not work for 5 years in any company. Some people I see 5 years, 10 years working in the same company. You change for 2 years, 3 years, you should at least change. Sometimes 1 year also. So make sure that if you have if you work for 2.5 years for one company, next jump you can see in 1 year. The next jump, at least 2 years. Make sure you have to maintain, you have to showcase that you're maintaining some retention also. If you're jumping for 6 months, 8 years, that's also not a good because you are not stable, right? You should have some kind of stability also and some movement also. People who are working for 10 years, 5 years in the same company, they are not growing technically also and financially also. This person is 10 years experience, same company. This person is 8 years experience in a different company. His salary is 10 years, 10 lakhs. His salary is 20 lakhs, 8 years. But I will prefer him, even if his salary is 20 lakhs and I have to pay 30 lakhs to him. He agreed to pay work on 15 lakhs, but still I will not hire him. So I understand. Same company, same project, same tool, same technology, working for 10 years. What he's learned. And he worked on 5 companies, spend and learn multiple technologies and good learning exposure. Such a company does not give any only the financial growth, but learning growth also. Technical learning also you get. And you'll become more concept. This person is like, he was scared because he took loan. He was scared in changing the job. If you work for multiple years in the same company, you will get scared to go outside. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So you will not, You will not, be having confident how to face the interview, because in first CF, you have not given a single interview. If you have never fly, you'll be scared how to fly, whether I'll be able to fly or I'll fall down. People who work multiple ones will get confidence. Maybe you might be disagree. Some people might be disagree, but this is my personal opinion, personal experience. Yes, go ahead fast.
Yeah, so this will include interview questions and the interview preparation also.
In the training, everything will be covered. Interview questions, whatever. See, this training is not a generic training. This has been designed so that you should be able to crack the interview. You will be able to justify your experience in the company. You will be more skilled than people who are already working on experience. You'll be able to justify the experience, as well as you'll be good technically. So this is not a generic training that, okay, some concept we are learning, which is not being implemented in the real time. This training is not a theoretical bookish training that we are learning something else and implementing something else. The same implementation means what we learn, same thing we have to do in the company. So whatever I'm going to cover, that means expected from you. Not a single thing which is not being asked or not required in the company. So you will not realize what is being asked, what is being covered here. Same is you are preparing for the interview.
So which one do you suggest? Weekend batch or a regular session?
Not suggestion, anybody based on your time. Weekend batch is also called weekdays, also the same content, same training. So if you can manage weekdays batch to continue, it's always good. Continuity. Yes or no? Every day you can continue 2 hours. Yes or no? Instead of having all the food at the same time. If you little we eat, that is always better. But not everybody has time to eat in every 10 minutes or every 1 hour. Right? So it depends on your time. Either you can go weekend or weekdays. So all about time. You can manage weekdays, always good. You can't manage, time is not allowing your office time, then you go for the weekend.
What will
Can you describe how the lab session is going to work?
I am going to show you now how it looks like in our SIM tool, how we can monitor, where we can monitor. Just give you a first view. Lab access, everybody will get the dedicated access. Either you talk about Splunk, or 𝐓𝐫𝐚𝐢𝐧𝐢𝐬, or if you go for EDR also, everybody will get the dedicated access. Say everybody account will be created 24/7 anytime. You will not see anybody in India who gives the 3-month access. 24/7 anytime you can to the lab and do the practice. Let me show you quickly overview. So you'll get company, how you connect to the company network for VPN, right? Same VPN setup we have here. Once you connect to the VPN, for example, you have FortiGate client. This kind of client you have to connect, which we call FortiGate. This kind of client you have, where you enter, you'll get your credential created. Then you get username, password, right? And connect to our company network. I'm already part of company as of now, so I need not to connect to the company network because I'm already inside to the company, right? So I can access my resources without connecting to VPN. Otherwise, you connect your enter username and then password, and then connect to the VPN before you access the lab. You can see after VPN, you'll get the private IP address. You can see it here. If you connect from home you have public IP address, right? But after that, you'll get my company address. Right now, currently I got 10.212 and 134 and 200. This is the my company IP address, private IP address. Similarly, you will get it after connecting. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, right now I'm working as a QA, sir. So I would like to move to the cybersecurity side. So this course is suitable for me.
I'll take the question. Let me show you the overview of the lab, then I'll take such questions. Okay. Then after that, you'll connect to the server. We have multiple servers. 3 jump server I have, 2 jump server I have it here. So that in case one is down, you can access the resource from another high availability perspective.
Sir, do we get a recordings?
Monday onwards, recording will not be shared to anyone. You have to create the notes here, as well as I have given you, if you're part of regular batch, the notes, SIM notes already to you. Same to same, I'm going to explain you. From our side, first we'll cover, then Splunk. A Splunk book also will get separately, which I have written myself end-to-end. So same, 1 minute, let me complete first. So what I'm saying is, we'll cover here. You have to write the notes also. and you can check the books as well, right? But so recording will not be shared. Once we start the practical session, then recording will be shared every day. You can watch multiple times for another 2 months. Means doing the training as well as after the training also we have 1 month access to the recording. Practical session. Understand practicals are very important. You might have to watch multiple times to do the practice. However, during this theoretical session also, in case you miss any class, you might have certain reasons, right? If you're not able to join any class, then you can ping me personally before the class. So that after the class, I will share you temporary one-time link to watch so that you complete. You can complete and join continue next class. See, sharing the recording, I don't have problem. I'm here to support you. But I have to support myself also. You know that in my training, 70% people are coming through references only. You join, you realize yourself. So maybe 70% out of you are coming through references only, right? You join, you got a job. Your brother will join, your sister will join, your brother-in-law will join, your friend will join. If our classes are not generic classes like Simply Learn or other, we never use any slides where people will get bored. It's fully interactive class. People watch the recording only, they get the job. So the limitation for me here is if I start sharing the recording from day one, people will share the recording to the friend all who are supposed to join in future. They'll watch the recording for free and people will not come to my training. So my bread and butter is this thing only, right? So I cannot compromise with that. But I want to support you. So practical session will be shared with everyone.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. Yes.
If someone is working in rotational shift, so if he or she interested to join these sessions like online, so how to manage?
Rotational people, whenever you have afternoon shift, you can join live. Whenever morning shift you have, then we'll say one-time watch session. So your MAC ID will take your MAC ID address, MAC ID, and will map your MAC ID with the account so that you can join from same laptop only. You can watch.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so you can see it here. Let me show you first lab first, then you can ask the question. Okay, so this is for console, SIEM console. Architecture I'll be explaining in a later period. The SIEM architecture. This is one the console that where we monitor the real-time incident. This is from ArcSight perspective. I will show you Splunk also and ADR also. So this is a real-time monitoring channel. Acha, 1 minute, my colored connection is not running. So what happens is here practically we'll be treating a couple of devices such as Windows, Linux, firewalls. Practically we'll be integrating live. We'll be installing the connector, forwarder, and practically we'll be teaching you should be able to integrate any device after this training. But you understand proxy logs, email gateway logs, IPS logs, different devices. It is not possible to integrate. Means you can't buy all the company's devices, in lab. And if you buy it also, if you don't have people to access it, they will not generate the log of those devices. So what will happen is we have a simulator here. We call a test alert connector simulator on which we'll be pushing the logs and logs will come like real-time logs. All the different devices logs will have it here, and logs will look like live logs are coming with current time. I'll be pushing those logs from the connector from test simulator, and you'll feel like it's a real-time environment and same kind of logs are coming. What do you see in the real-time environment? So it was down actually because yesterday I was doing some troubleshooting activities. Otherwise, it will not never get stopped. Continuously log, you will see the logs. So some Windows logs coming live, you can see some kind of Windows brute force attack. This rule is not fine-tuned. That's the reason you get. So this is the channel, this kind of channel you are going to monitor. But only some alert has been triggered because I have not run this test alert connector. Once this test connector will run, then we'll have so many other alerts. Anyways, I will take it up on the later period. So you'll see such kind of, this is the channel that you monitor 24/7. This channel will get refreshed automatically. Get in mind? All the such incident, you'll monitor the same channel. After that, okay, this incident has been triggered one by one. Okay, let me investigate and check. You investigate option, detail chain. What are the logs which are involved, right? So you do multiple investigation that we are going to do here in later period. So you want to search the log, you have the option to search the logs here. You create one channel and search the logs. give the query, you define the condition here, right? What logs and what period log you want to search, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 day, or which time to which time, your option. Which time to which time, which date you want to search. That is one of one. So this is the ESM in our side, where do the real-time monitoring, correlation alerting, and you have one more component we call a logger, where searching is very easy. You just write the query and search.
Sir, in our side, a rule is already defined. We make a rule for filtering the logs.
Every SIM tool you will see some rules are already defined, but you might have to fine tune those rules, and some rules you have to write yourself, customize rule. For example, here, go on the rules, and then go on the real-time rules. You can see here we have many rules. For example, Windows related. You can see Windows related. So many rules we have. Windows unable to log event. Windows audit policy change. Windows shutdown, rebooted. Windows shutdown. Service stop, hardware failure, right? Multiple user account has been disabled, enabled. So these are not mandatory for every company, depend on the criticality of the data, right? So these are all possible rules for Windows. Based on
how to edit the rules?
We will be learning everything on the training. How to create the rule, edit the rule, modify, fine tune, everything will be learning here, right? So these are the various all possible rules for Windows. What we create? For example, firewall. What a different rule we can create on the firewall. These are different rules based on the firewall logs. We can automate. For any attack backdoor activity has been created, spam, email outbreaks, insecure, vulnerable software, right? These are various different rules, antivirus related rules. You can see detection of virus outbreak, right? Multiple virus detection on single PC, same virus detection on multiple PCs, right? So these are different, the rule that you have created. These rules which are created in real time is standing on the door of your SIM. Whenever such message will come, it will trigger an alert here on the real-time monitoring channel. Get it, mind?
Sir,
So,
all these rules, what you are showing is the predefined, or we
no,
create?
this is my customized rules. This is I have created to one of the customer, right? I had created for one of the customer. So all this predefined. There are many predefined rules. You will see for Cisco router. These are predefined rules.
Sir, are you going to teach us how to troubleshoot or how to work at these all types of alerts?
How to troubleshoot, how to fine tune. Troubleshooting for the rule we call a fine tuning, optimization. That will cover how to create or how to optimize. So these are, you can see one of, this is 𝐓𝐫𝐚𝐢𝐧𝐢𝐬 SIM. It has multiple command line logger, command center, all different console you'll get access. And another is Splunk.
Sir, this Splunk is web-based or directly, or is there any application like 𝐎𝐸𝐴𝐺𝐸 what you have shown?
What? This is web-based.
Web-based, right?
Splunk console is web-based. Well, 𝐎𝐸𝐴𝐺𝐸 has an application also and web-based also. For example, 𝐎𝐸𝐴𝐺𝐸 has this console also, web-based also. 𝐎𝐸𝐴𝐺𝐸 has web console also. You can see this is a web console. Command center we call us. This is 𝐎𝐸𝐴𝐺𝐸 command center.
So whatever this is web-based, it is like it is a cloud-based, right?
No, it's not cloud-based. Web-based does not mean cloud-based.
Okay.
You can see this is 𝐸𝐴𝐺𝐸 command center. The 𝐸𝐴𝐺𝐸 command center. 𝐸𝐴𝐺𝐸 is have web-based also, as well as it has like your Facebook application. The application also installed on your mobile, as well as you can access through browser also. Similarly, in 𝐸𝐴𝐺𝐸 has two console. One is through console application that you can install, and another is this. This is 𝐸𝐴𝐺𝐸 only. 𝐸𝐴𝐺𝐸 command center. You can see the logs. You can search the log and see the logs here, right? That is, what? This is web-based. And Splunk is web-based only. There is no application, only through web browser.
Sir, are you going to teach us for regular batch? So how to triage these all types of alerts?
Before triage means the whole process, how to investigate, assign, and create an incident. Before, see,
right.
SOC is incompleted. Your SIM work is incompleted without the incident monitoring. But at the end of the day, end of the training or end of the learning that you are doing, actually mostly for incident monitoring. If you do not understand how to monitor incident, investigate, it's not completed. Yes or no? So you might have questions that's being asked. So, but That's the main work that we have to do, right? You can see this Splunk. So in Splunk, you will see the important thing is Splunk Enterprise Security. Splunk Enterprise Security, right? Where we monitor the incident. In ArcSight, we have this kind of channel, right? Where it is getting refreshed automatically. You will see last incident 10-10, right? And it is right now, right? So live event are coming. So once I start test character, we have various different type of alerts. You can see it here. If I create a channel for last 1 week, because yesterday I was doing some troubleshooting, so I have stopped test simulator. So that's the reason only few alerts are being fired, but we'll have different type of alerts here.
Sir, for this batch, what will be the course fees?
I'll give the information to my counselor information. You can check everything. If anybody wants to continue this batch, you can check everything with her. Oh, it's There's so many alerts. Why? Because it's the lab environment. So we have so many alerts firing.
So while doing the practical lab session, if we get any doubt, we can directly communicate with you, or is there anyone who is in the lab?
First of all, you will not have any issues. If you face any problem, then you have to ask next day on the training itself. You can see now, once I post test letter character, you will see the various different backdoor has been created, various alerts, which are actually you see on the real time, right? Different alerts. So these are actually you are going to monitor. ArcSight, we create such channel to monitor this channel 111, whatever is being triggered. You see it's an queued, right? So you have to annotate to some analyst, right? And you can monitor here. Different alert will have like this. And in Splunk, you will see Splunk Enterprise Security, right? So this is the dashboard where you see the alerts. So as of now, we just started ArcSight. That's the reason we have posted the logs on our ArcSight panel. So once we start with Splunk, we have the logs coming in the Splunk. We'll move and point out toward the Splunk.
Sir, in ArcSight, like
sir,
many incidents, right? Like many alerts. So how we are managing those? It's difficult to know.
You'll see so many alerts. Why? Because it's a lab environment, and I'm pushing this event from test character, which is a simulator. The logs actually has been created so that it can generate the incident. Means most of the logs are matching logs for some of the rule. That's the reason you'll see so many alerts. But in the company, rule will be very well fine-tuned. They will not be firing, and those incidents will not trigger daily basis, right? But these logs that I have in my simulator are matching log for some kind of attacks to showcase some rule trigger. That is why you'll see so many numbers. Okay, you can see in incident in the Splunk, this kind of here you are going to monitor incident review. In the Splunk, once you go on a Splunk Enterprise Security, then this dashboard you have to open incident review. You can see Splunk Enterprise Security. We have clicked, and this is the incident review where you monitor the incident. Last 24 hours by default. Last 24, if you want to analyze the last 6 hours or whatever time you want to monitor, you can select the time. These are the incident. High number of Windows login failure. You can see that has been triggered. What is the from which device has been triggered, right? If you annotate, want to annotate and assign to someone, right? You can assign to someone. Some analyst, you want to assign the status in progress, right? Urgency, you can see medium or critical. To whom you want to assign. Some user you can select and assign to someone. Got it, mind? So he will have to investigate that particular incident.
Sir, how do you define it's a critical or a medium thing?
It will be defined on the SOP document. SOP means standard operating procedure. While we being an administrator, while we create any correlation rule, right? We discuss with the client, because client will have the better understanding. Based on our understanding, we define the criticality. We'll get the approval from the client. The client has some other concurrence, some other opinion. Okay, this is not a critical, this is medium severity. Then we'll define medium severity. Then we have SOP document for each and every rules. Means every incident we'll have SOP document, means whole process, every incident trigger, how to investigate, which team you have to define, assign, and what severity you have to give. That process analyst has to follow. Got it, mind? So here we can define the severity. Here you give the detailed posture of the incident, how many incidents may trigger in last 24 hours days, right? What are different incident trigger? It will show you in this console.
So have you
how we
thought
can get
about
logs
have you
from
thought about
firewall?
have you thought about creating this medium for internship for students? Because I understand this is a practical session, but you know, on the resume, don't you think that, you know, having this as part of the internship will give validity to one's resume
Hey,
for
I understand. I understand. I said 3 months you'll have access to this tool. Means practically, right? On one of the session, we'll talk about that, especially for freshers who are new, who does not have gap, especially because
Okay.
by the gap means you can justify experience, right? Instead of going with intern and fresher. Especially for freshers, if they want to go as intern because you already learned practically, we'll give the internship certificate from SIEM XPERT because you already learned, right? You can mention that you're SIEM XPERT and so on, so activities you're doing because anyways you are doing practical year, right? So we'll give the internship certificate.
Okay, got it. That is fantastic.
So now you can see for Falcon ADR how we can access. There also you can see all real-time logs are coming, real-time detection and everything.
Sir, EDR is working on same like 𝐓𝐫𝐚𝐢𝐧𝐢𝐴 and Splunk, or
It is a different tool. It's a cloud-based. This is a cloud-based tool. Means I'm logging into falcon.com. You can see CrowdStrike.com, right? So I have to enter my code. It's a very authentic. It's a cloud-based, right? Anybody can do the brute force. That's the reason it have two-factor authentication. 1.5 because this is available publicly, right? Anybody can access this URL. So username and password is not secure. It uses two-factor authentication, means OTP. This authenticator app, we get the OTP. Okay, so this is the
CrowdStrike, is it what you're using for the EDR?
Yes, this is a CrowdStrike EDR, right? Because all the detection, the real-time logs we have coming, all the detection you will see. The full functionality will be covered here. And people who are taking the training, you can see their account is all created. You will have dedicated account created. So who are part of current batch? So their account will be created like this because we have bought the license for SIEM XPERT. So first of all, we have to create your account in our domain. Then we'll be giving the access to you, right? So different people are having, you can see, all full admin access so that they can connect. Everybody can connect by entering their user ID and password. Okay, so that was the overview of what we are going to learn practically here. So, 1 moment. So today is the last session for free people, right? If anybody wants to continue with the regular batch, then they can roll a join from Monday onwards. And also everybody will get the certificate. I will share you the form on free batch and regular batch both, right? So free batch will get SOC analyst certificate, right? The only thing is they have to mark your attendance on YouTube. That's the only thing you have to do. This session for 9 days was completely free. You did not have to pay single money. And along with that, you'll also awarded with the certification that you can mention in resume, also LinkedIn profile everywhere, because SIEM XPERT is one of the popular institutions from cybersecurity perspective. So many of the companies we see, they identify because you have done the same from SIEM XPERT, because we believe here in practical training, not only theoretical, theory plus practical. So they will understand what kind of knowledge you are having, what kind of base you are having, foundation you are having, at least people who have joined this foundation training. So you'll get a certification that you can write. You'll have the credentials also, means certification number. So in case of verification comes, right, verify your certification as well. So for people who are the free training, they only have to do is they have to, fill the form. Make sure that you have, mark the attendance. That means you have commented on YouTube. Commenting on YouTube means making sure that if you like and comment a video, that means it will be reachable for many other people who can also take the advantage of this free training. The only reason of asking you to comment is for your attendance. 1 moment for people who are not muted. The only reason for asking this comment and like on the YouTube video is, one is to attendance, that you have actually learned, because getting the certificates only does not make any sense if you have not learned it, right? So you learn. And second thing, if you comment and like, that means the video will be available for many other people, right, who did not even join that live training. They can also watch on that YouTube. That is the reason I'm asking you to comment and like, right? So whatever attendance you have marked, I will share you one Google form on which you have to attend the screenshot that okay, you have commented, right? That's the only thing. I will ask my team. They will be working from tomorrow onwards on creating certification. You'll get the certificate on your email ID, right? Also, I will allow now, as of now, chat is disabled on the free batch. I allow the chat also, so that we can ensure that everybody who has attended this training or who watch the training on YouTube, they can get the certificate. A regular batch, you'll get 2 certificates. One is SOC analyst certificate and one is SOC expert certificate. After completing the whole training, they'll get expert level of certification.
Sir,
Yes.
if I would,
yes,
sir,
yeah, go ahead now.
If I would like to go for EDR training, so when it is going to commence, sir?
Right now, it is running weekdays batch. Weekend batch will be starting next month. Next month, that means from September only, September middle. Enrollment is going to start now from tomorrow.
So wants to high quality of internet.
So is this course suitable for me? So I would like to move to cybersecurity side.
Of course, this training we started from scratch only, right? People who are layman, I have people BA BCom also, right? Who are laymen in this technology, they are joining and they're getting the job also. Why? Because we started from basics only. If till the class we have covered, you understand, that means you'll understand now onwards. If till the class what you have covered, you have not understood, that means you should not go further. You evaluate yourself. Okay. Anybody else? Any question?
Sulabh sir.
Yes.
Recently, I was going through one of the JDs, like you have explained. In the upper part, it was showing entry level, and in the experience part, they are showing like 10 years of experience. What is it? Why they are like is this because of the HR's policies, or they are not aware of the things?
Maybe it's a mistake, or maybe mistake, or maybe some people are not aware. See, HRs, you can't understand even technical things. Even if we need any people to be hired from outside, it's the responsibility of technical team to create the JD. If I'm the technical manager, I'll be creating the JD, what I'm expecting, right? So HR, you cannot expect technical things. And HR interview is nothing for the technical people. I'm telling experienced people. HR discussion is only salary discussion, not communication, not technical skills, right? If you are able to clear technical interview, that means you are almost selected. Only salary discussion. Now, based on HR budget, HR is the responsible for optimizing the budget, right? So if budget is fine for you and for them, then you are almost selected.
Okay.
Sir, I am from technical background. I have done my MCA, but am I able to do the next cybersecurity job?
Of course,
after this?
Your MCA already, right?
Sir, but I have done my previous work in other technical fields, so as a MIS executive.
If you are BA also, you can do that. Get my BA also. I had in 6 months back, I had one person. He has done BA. He was the first person in my training who has done the BA. I told him that you are non-technical and a BA degree. I'm not very sure. Since he was BA, I had a personal discussion with him. And I told him that I'm not sure whether you'll get a job or not. Because even if you learn also, but whether company will consider BA or not, I'm not sure. I said that you take risk on your own. I cannot commit or we cannot tell anything to him. He took 10-15 days to think. He came back to me, sir, I have to do it because I don't have any other options. He was preparing for UBSC, PSC and all. Finally, he joined. You'll not believe that he was the first person in the batch, even before finishing the training. He was the first person in the batch who got the job first, and he got the work for 3 companies. Now he is working in the Pune in Tata Communication. So 3 companies he's got the job. That given the confidence to me also to say that even you are BA, you can do that. But he was very, he was putting so much of effort. You'll not believe that. I find always some people here. I shared the book document also, right? I used to teach. For example, I'm teaching today. Yesterday only he used to see the document. He used to read, and sometimes I asked him because he was answering the question. He was a BA. By looking at his face, you will not understand what effort he was putting. But here the BA guy, he was doing as a homework. He was not familiar much with computer. He used to work. He used to learn computer basics also along with the training. He was not having good communication in English. He was doing practice for communication also. he was full dedicated. So it all depends on your mindset. I'm telling you, after this training, you are not non-technical. If day one, since when you join this training, you are no more non-technical. Or everybody is technical, either you are BA, BCom, BSc, BBA, or whatever, or BTech. Everybody on the same page. We are not different now.
Okay.
So I'm resting since 1 year. So that's why I called it.
There are ways that you can apply, and
Yes,
you can
sir.
work.
I'm not working since 1 year.
You can work like experience. There are ways, so that maybe you can discuss offline. There are ways.
Okay.
Even you have gap, right? You can get a better
Yes,
salary and better opportunities.
So what will be the starting salary of the SOC analyst?
If you're completely fresher, right? You don't have any gap. You're playing completely fresher only. Then not only SOC analyst, any IT field. Because if you're completely fresher, means you don't have practical knowledge. For example, you did not work on the company. You will consider like normal IT guy. So there is no difference between SOC analyst or any IT software testing or whatever. Salary range is around 3 to 5, normal salary average if you talk about. If you're lucky enough, you have got very good interview, make a 7, 8 also, for example, no more also. But average salary, if you talk about for any IT job, it's 3 to 5 as of now, average.
So every company is asking for 3 to 5 years of experience.
If you have gap, you can justify your experience. But if you don't have, then of course you can't you can't go as experience. I mean, you don't have anything, right? Fresher only. But it does not mean the fresher will not get the job, right? Fresher will get internship certificate because you are doing practically project work here.
So can I apply for job after this 9 days of training?
9 days of training, you have foundation clear, right? But you don't have practical knowledge. Foundation clear, you will learn. If you are financially not good, you can learn yourself, but that's not enough. That's create a foundation, but that's not enough to get the job. If you're completely fresher, if you go to the interview, I mean, if you're completely fresher, recently passed out, you go to the interview, there's only some people who does not have any knowledge, but here you have knowledge, you may get the job, right? But that's not enough. Because this foundation now clear, the building has to be developed, designed.
Sir, when we make the resume like the SOC analyst, when we make that resume?
If you're part of regular training, we'll discuss the resume point also after the training. Yeah. Each and everything what we have learned, and same thing you have to write in resume. Not a single point extra. If you have some other skills also, you can still write. But based on training, what we have been covered from SOC perspective, those points will write. If you have some extra skills, you learn yourself or you worked, you can add those points yourself.
Sir, we add our previous experience also on that resume.
What?
Previous experience.
That we can discuss on the later part.
Sir, what will be the fees of regular training?
For enrollment or fees detail, you can discuss with my team.
So does this training include EDR as well?
SOC training does not EDR, because if we add, it will increase the fees on the SOC because there's a separate license required, right? Separate training. So that's why we have not added. But if you're already part of SOC team, SOC training, then we'll give some discount so that you can add, because EDR is now very good. And if you add EDR also on your portfolio, it will increase the weightage. Because every second JD you will see the EDR. Our objective was to add the EDR, but when we evaluated, we came to know that cost will get increased because of the license cost. So that is the reason it's not mandatory, but good to have.
Okay.
So what is
So
the
if you're
duration?
a part of SOC training, will not earn anything from you for EDR training, just license and training cost, that trainer cost, and will not earn any single money from you for EDR. It is
So
just
what is the duration? What is the duration of for EDR course?
EDR is around 20-25 hours, around 2 weeks. EDR is not a big tool like SIEM. SIEM, you have multiple functionality, right? So many things you have to learn. EDR is not a big tool. And again, a cloud-based. Cloud-based means no deployment, just sensor deployment you have to do, collecting the log, sensor development, searching, reporting, detection, isolating, sandboxing, right? That is being covered. But deployment is not there because it's cloud-based. Majority of your EDR tools are all cloud-based nowadays.
Sir, one question about technically, like we are having the SIEM tool and everything in on our servers or somewhere like that. Is there any possible that this may also get compromised?
See, ideally what happens in this security, you will have the internal IP address. Internal IP address, right? So, and again, two-factor authentications. Get it fine? So compromising nothing ideal, nothing is 100% secure. Yes or no? So, but you will rarely see any security device has been compromised. Rarely see, because for example, SIM we have given internal IP address only, right? And only two-factor authentication. So it's not easy to compromise, but you can't say that it cannot be compromised.
And this, like you have created the email addresses and everything, so it's like completely like you have said that it is like a real-time work environment only you are giving, right?
Of course, I mean, because we have same logs are coming in, right? Same activity, same options you have, same thing you have to do it on the company also, same thing you have environment you have here also.
Sir, for regular batch, so do you address the Q&A questions or someone else instead of you are attending the questions?
I didn't get you what you're saying.
No, for regular batch. So are you going to address the questions Q&A session at the last, or someone will?
Same like what we are having right now, current session, right? If you have any question, you can ask, or at the end also, and then 5-10 minutes, and same. I mean, it's a regular batch only. It's a regular batch only. You can allow some people outside to join.
Okay, it is only you who are answering the question or questions, right?
I'm the one. This training SOC batch I take dedicatedly because it's very important, because this is job related, job oriented, right?
So what is the scope in a foreign?
This technology has demand across the globe. Today you're India, tomorrow you might be UK, US, Australia, Saudi Arabia, anywhere. Because if for SIM also we have this user created, dedicated user. For example, this April batch, we have this user created, right? So every batch we have such user. You get dedicated access, and all are under administrator, means you have full admin access. Everybody will get the full administrator access, means all the activity you can do. In a company, you won't get the access, full administrator access. You understand, role-based access. Otherwise, you can do anything, right? There's a reason sometimes, but still I mean, you'll not see lab is down. Rarely you see lab is down. So I'm actively monitoring it in case some problem happens, because you have been given full administrator access, so that you can explore everything, every setting, every configuration you can explore. So we have two servers. We have two servers, jump server here, so that sometimes you will get shut down the servers. We have two servers to load balance and to for high availability. In case one server is down, also we have another server to make to ensure more availability.
Sulabhji, is it possible for us to come and see your lab physically in Bangalore if you are there in Bangalore?
Let me tell you that it's not a chemical lab, it's not a physics lab. That okay, big lab, okay, these tools, these are chemicals. This is all about server.
No, and also I feel that I want to feel in touch with you face to face, because such an energetic man is taking classes. Okay, really, it's an appreciable classes, and I feel that I want to visit once and directly see you to greet you as well. Even I was checking with Uma madam that I want to meet Sulabh once face to face.
First of all, thank you for your compliment. But this batch I'm not taking from Bangalore. I'm available in Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. So this training I'm running from Jabalpur now.
But I see your board always shows in a map like you are in Bangalore. That's
see, but why? Because see, our office in Bangalore also, but we have not shown much this location. Because you understand, right? Being a training institution in Jabalpur, where you won't find much IT companies, and showing ourselves in Bangalore always is the hub of IT, right? Will have more impact. People may not see some, because see, once we start eating the food, then only you'll understand whether it's tasty or not.
You are revealing your secrets actually.
Yeah, because you know me, right? Now you know how I deliver the training.
Yeah.
Means if I have a small restaurant where we don't have much board and all, small city, and sasta bhi de raha hai, actually acha nahi hoga. It not be good in taste. But if it's a big board, big restaurant, you'll go there and eat. So until unless you do not go to a small restaurant and eat, you'll understand how tasty is the food. Get it, mind?
Yeah, you know. Okay, for an example, you know Meghana, right, in Bangalore?
Magna is a company, is it?
No,
Right.
it's, I mean, Magna Foods. I mean, the Magna biryani, famous biryani. You are into that state, actually.
So the reason of not revealing this address all the time is because if you see Jabalpur address, even you guys are joining online only, but may not have that much of weightage. It's the reason always we tell Bangalore address only, not this address.
Sir, any impacted on the job? Any impacted on the job from the AI, artificial intelligence?
What are you saying?
Any impact on the job in future, artificial
Somebody
intelligence?
asked, I think somebody asked before also, I answered that it has not been evaluated. AI is on initial phase as of now. It is not been evaluated what will be the impact. But I'm telling you, people who believe in learning, who continue, they do not have to worry about that. Any technology, any changes, they do not worry. People who have the lethargic approach, they do not upgrade themselves, they do not learn new technology, they only have to worry. Yes or no? Because the birds who do not know, who are not a good flyer, if flood will come or anything will come, they only will die, right? If you are a good flyer, you can fly anywhere. So I believe that we should not think too much what is going to happen. We should put our effort, we learn the technology, right? And we need not to think, because if you're a good learner, right? If you go out, everybody will go out. You should have this kind of attitude. Get your point? So as of now, just to answer, it is not being evaluated what will happen. What will happen? It has not been evaluated, but you cannot avoid the human work.
So if
you use the AI, if you use the AI in securing, attacker will also use the AI for attacking. You understand? It is vice versa.
Yes, sir.
Sulabh sir, in the regular training, so first you will be taking like a theoretical part and then you will showing the practical, or at a time you will showing the
theory, practical, theory, practical. See, initial around 1 week class will be theory for architecture, different component, right? It's a big tool, different component. Then we'll see the integration, start integration, then theory, practical, theory, practical, theory, continuously. Once we start the practical, theory, practical, like this. Theory is very much required. Without understanding theoretically, you can't directly work on the practical part. Understand? Okay, so theory, practical, theory, but it's a combination of both. So
what I mean to say was like first you will like when you are getting into the much deeper into the subject, first half an hour will be like theoretical part, then you will showing the other half an hour like practical, like this kind of scenario you will
depends.
use.
It depends. If I am explaining something theoretically, if it's a big topic, then first we'll finish theory, then we'll do the practical. It depends. For a small topic, maybe 15-minute theory, then again practical. It's not like half an hour. It's not systematic. Why systematic? Because some topic may be bigger, some topic may require more practical, more time on the practicals. Some topic require more time on the theoretical. For example, when you are talking about integration of devices, for example, Windows integration. So first of all, I explain you how Windows work, how it generates the logs, what kind of log generator, system log, security log, application log, where we can see the logs on the Windows. Then whatever triggers it, connectivity, port number, or it has to be enabled. So one point we have to understand. Yes or no? Once we understand, cover the whole theory, then we'll do practically. Same step, we'll perform practically.
Sir, Linux is required for that or not?
What?
Linux.
So
required for the SIEM or not?
Linux, it is good to learn. As of now, for this training, it is not required Linux. But if advanced, for example, we have a Splunk advanced level of training, admin, architect, implementation level learning. Understand, 99% security tools will be deployed on Linux. If you want to go to administration, more on the administration, implementation, solution architecting, then Linux is mandatory. Not at this point of time. Once you get the job, you want to grow technically. Many people who become manager but does not have Linux knowledge because they have followed techno management path after getting the SOC. But if you want to grow technically, implementation team, solution architect, consultant, then Linux is very much required. once you get a job, along with the job, start learning Linux.
So what level of knowledge required in the Linux?
In Linux, basic level, at least basic level, like how to edit. First of all, how to configure Linux means how to deploy. Is easy, right? Other how to configure IP addresses, networking in Linux, and then how to edit the files, how to run any command. No need to remember all the commands. I'm telling you, I also did not remember. I forget some time. I just do Google it. In 1 minute only, I get the answer. In 30 seconds. Who will remember all the commands?
Kali Linux is famous, I think.
Those commands are not used on a daily basis, right? You'll forget it, no problem. You have a calculator here, right? If you don't know the count and calculation, no problem. You have a calculator in your hand. Instead of that, instead of learning and remembering those things, I will remember and learn some other things. It's not something that calculator will not be always with you. You have calculator in a mobile.
Sir, after this batch ends, do we still have the access of lab to practice further?
You will get 2 months during the training. Means अभी तो lab की जरूरत नहीं है ना? Training is 3 months, right? 2 months during the training and 1 month after the training. Total 3 months is committed. Means in 3 months, 24/7. Server is running, tools are running 24/7, day, night, morning, afternoon, anytime you can connect.
Sir, is there any specifications for laptop, sir?
Not much, because you don't have to install much tool. Only connector, which you install for device integration practice, you need to install in the system, and VPN client to connect to the lab. So basic laptop which having minimum 4 GB RAM, Windows 10 onwards, right, is fine. But if you're planning to buy a new laptop, at least buy i5 and above, and Windows 10 and above, and at least 8 GB RAM. If you're buying new, if you buy i3, does not make any sense. i3 is the oldest operation, generation, right? But if you have it already, no need to buy separate. If you have i3 laptop, which is only by 2013-14 you have bought, running slow, just spend 2,000-3,000 rupees and get the SSD configure. Because your current laptop is a hard drive, which you have bought old one, running slow because hard drive is slowest storage. Now new technology, SSD, solid state drive. Spend 2,000-3,000 and at least 250 GB of SSD you buy, your laptop will be ultra fast.
So how about Ryzen, which can we take?
What?
Ryzen processor. Ryzen 5 is okay.
It is recommended go for Intel if possible. Intel is always good. But whether कौन सा बताया आपने यार? Ryzen. That's fine, but if you're buying Intel, if you're buying new,
after this course, can we learn some IIT courses in advantages?
What?
Sir, after this course, we are learning cybersecurity. So some IITs are calling for their online degrees. Suppose in cybersecurity masters.
No, I'm not getting you. Your voice is not clear. Guys, who has completed, who don't have any college, they can leave it because it's already 10:45. So people who ask questions, they can continue. Other people can leave if they want. They have office or something.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I'll be in touch with you.
Yes,
sir.
Windows 7 open.
So I will also enable the chat message on the group, free group, right? If you have any query, something, you can now have a chat. I had not enabled the chat because we have 1,000 people in the group. So I will be over flooded with so many questions, right? That's the reason I have not allowed the chat. You understand, right? So many politics or something happens sometimes. Just to avoid those, I have not enabled the chat, but I will enable the chat. So this group, the free batch group, will enable the chat so that I can continue and any further discussion you can have.
Hello, sir. After this course,
hello. I will share. Hello. Some people are asking, right, how to join the continue batch. I will share the detail of my counselor on the group itself. Right, you can get in touch with you can get in touch with her to get all the information if anybody wants to continue the batch. Also for certification, also I'll share the information on the group itself, how to get the certification. Yes, go ahead. Yes, any question?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, if I want to have a consultation, private consultation with you to raise some concern, how can I set an appointment?
I mean,
before taking on the regular course.
Acha means you want to discuss something. You want to discuss something.
Yes.
Okay. If you want to discuss something, then you can ping me personally. In that case, I will give my free time so that we can discuss.
And this is by
Only for joining related, because so many other questions. If you have, right, in that case we have 1,000. I'm already overloaded in so many calls and messages. I have
actually it's related. It's related to the course. So before
then-
taking on the course, I just have some concerns.
Then you can ping
that's
me
the question.
personally. I will give the time at what time we can discuss.
Because after completing this 10 days free workshop, I'm really considering to proceed with the regular course.
Okay, okay, great. Next, anybody has any confusion?
Thank you.
Shall we go ahead and wind up?
Sir, on Monday we have the dedicated link on the WhatsApp.
I will share the Zoom link. You have to register on that. Once you register, I will verify your detail. Make sure that same WhatsApp number, same email ID use that you have filled up the enrollment form. Will verify, RT will verify your detail. Then they will approve. Once they will approve the request, you'll get the dedicated link on your email ID. Make sure that you join from one device. If you join from two devices, one device will be automatically, removed.
So when I get this link, sir, today or tomorrow?
Before the next session, Monday, maybe today or tomorrow, or
Yeah.
tomorrow or day after tomorrow, before the next session.
Okay.
Sir, I have an update, sir.
Yes.
Sir, hello, sir. Many of the IITs are giving their online courses of cyber.
Come again.
Many of the IIT, like IIT Kharagpur, they are announcing like online courses, like certificate courses.
Correct,
and all.
correct.
Okay.
See,
But
I'm
it
telling
is
you.
too expensive. I have personal experience. I did from cybersecurity from what to say, Amity University. Okay, it is a useless. Just I paid him money and it's. I mean to say it's a useless. You can't learn anything technically there for sure.
So what I'm saying is, I understand what you're experiencing. See, degree is just a piece of paper. I'm telling you.
Piece of paper, exactly.
Case of degree, IIT, many it's a big scam to fool people. They will not deliver the quality and they will take less of money from you.
If you want, I'm ready to share my certificate as well. Anybody can put their name and you can use.
Oh, that is what I put their name, right? Who is going to who is going to verify?
Yeah, what is the use of it?
No,
certainly waste.
Sir, actually, the certificate which is talking about, it's a new IIT Kanpur course. So that IIT is giving placement, which other companies cannot do.
It depends.
I'm sure. I am sure. I will pay for you if you are getting a placement from Kharagpur. I'm sure. It is not at all possible.
Hello, you said that we have to connect with the same device, right? So should I connect all the classes with the same device?
No, I'm not saying same device. I'm saying one device only.
One device, okay.
One device at a time, one device only will connect.
Right, okay, thank you.
Just to continue, I was telling that you may end up paying lakhs of rupees, right? For this Kharagpur, all those different industry, this university, right? The main is learning what you're going to learn. Degree is just a piece of paper, nothing else. So have you ever seen that we were dying, right? We were dying in college time. Array, marks, I got 68%. He got 85%, right? Now you can see where are these people and where are you? Have any company either asked why you have 70, 65%, why you have not 85%? Have they ever seen your marks before taking the interview? Now people are not even writing percentages also. I was thinking that I was very fool actually. Very fool. Why we are getting sad when we have less mark and our friends are having more marks, or fool in the sense of percentages. But of course, if you put more effort or learning, you'll get somewhere outcomes. If you're so sincere. But from percentage wise, if you talk about, right, nobody is going to see how many percentage you have. Why do you have backlogs? Nobody is going to see. Because resume, we never write that we have 3 backlogs. Yes or no? So we have half knowledge. We don't have full knowledge while we are studying. That here, the important knowledge, your experience, not the degree, whether you have done from Symbiosis or some other institution. IIT is one of the reputed, institution. They do not give only degree, but they deliver the knowledge. I'm talking about main course, bachelor course with IIT. They do not give the degree only, but they actually deliver the knowledge, experience. So IIT is not only certificate, but they deliver the knowledge best for who does the BTech. I'm not talking about MTech or some other remote degrees, because these all remote degrees, some other third party can do the tie-up. They give some money to them and they deliver the course themselves on behalf of IITs. Okay, guys. So thank you for joining. Especially thank you for the people who joined from free batch. So today is the last day with you. It was nice interaction. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much,
sir.
sir. Definitely going to recommend you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.